set, but Alberta ain't ready to kneel just yet. They chose their king, their power was met, but we don't answer to Ottawa yet. No crown gave us what we've earned, just dirt and fire and lessons learned. Now the ground it shakes, the steel it groans, and Alberta walks alone. We ride sovereign steel through fire, through frost. We ain't the last, we're the line they lost. Alberta stands, never on its knees. A nation born in the forge of the free. From the rigs to the rails, the crops to the code, we lit their streets, we bore their load. They laughed at pride, they mocked the West, but freedom don't die, it just waits for the test. The cowboys ride, the farmers rise, 5 million strong under open skies. No leash, no lie, no foreign throne. This land is steel and it stands alone. We ride sovereign steel through fire, through frost. We ain't the last, we're the line they lost. Alberta stands, never on its knees. A nation born in the forge of the free.
It's 7-Eleven Daily-ish Summary with Bruce Scholl. I'm so excited to be here. I'm going to have a little slurp. One moment. That tastes good. All right. I'm so excited to be here. I am so excited. What an amazing time to be alive. Oh my gosh, there's so much going on. There is so much going on. I had to reach out to you today. I had to sit down with you, and I'm grateful that you're here. If you are here, make sure to share this out, get some more eyeballs on this information. I'm just so damn excited to be here with you and enjoying this non-alcoholic beer. It tastes so damn good. Oh. All right. Hopefully you got one and you're enjoying your evening here with me. And thank you very much for joining me. I am so excited to be here. Bruce Scholl. This is my daily-ish 7-Eleven. And I say daily-ish because obviously I've been delinquent at being here on a daily basis. So I do appreciate you being here. Let's get into unscrewing some news. I do always want to start off by saying local businesses are the heart of Alberta. We are working on, and so you got to stand by for this. We're working on a hub for Alberta businesses. I realized one day that there was just a lack of ability to access local businesses, artists, services, good small mom and pop shops. Just it's not easy, but we're working on a hub. It'll be something like the Alberta store. Anyway, I'm so excited to also to support local businesses. One of the ones that I love to support. I'm not your investment advisor, but I do suggest getting gold and silver. I think it's so beneficial to your family. Has been really helpful to mine. Protect your family's wealth. Gold and silver, get it at nuggetstacker.com. Up in the top left-hand side, you see that QR code. Click on that, get you a bit of a discount on your order. Get gold and silver and hold it to protect your family's wealth. 1-866-644-2121, nuggetsacker.com. Great people, great. You know what? Just call them up if you have any questions. Give them a call. All right, I'm going to break down some of the what's going on, and before I do that, we're gonna get into it here in a second. Sorry, I'm a little bit disjointed with all the stuff that's been going on. So I'm gonna read my thing. Hang on one second. I'm coming to you from the heart of the battle-ready nation of Alberta. We bring you truth and optimism, and our goal is to break free from the media and the globalist mind control. It's May 19th, 2026, and this is episode number 282. Who and their Ebola declaration and the media horrors is what that's supposed to say, but Twitch didn't like that title, so I switched it up for Twitch. So here's for Twitch, because they are media horrors. Twitch, did you get that? Did you like that? I said it again. All right, we're going to break down some of what's going on. I'm going to start off by talking about TJ Kennedy, great photographer, great Albertan, moved here just before COVID or during COVID, and fantastic guy. I want to do everything that I can to support this dude. He does some great work. Anyway, I just got this a few seconds before I went live. It says The Royals is a documentary about 9 women competing for Miss Rodeo Canada. This is another a great person, a great business, a great opportunity to support here in Alberta. We've made the film. Now we need your help getting it seen. Every dollar goes towards posters, ads, and community screenings across Western Canada. This is the film Rodeo deserves. Help me share it. He's got a GoFundMe. And TJ Kennedy, you the man, and we love you. So support this if you can. And but we're going to get into some other stuff. But TJ, there's a shout out to TJ Kennedy. All right, I am going to, let's just see what. What do we got going on here? I'll just play this just for fun.
Okay, here's the conspiracy theory. Thomas Lukasik is a separatist, a double agent. The Forever Canadian petition was put forward specifically for this moment. They already knew that the First Nations would throw another injunction at them. Think about it. What even prompted Lukasik to ask the question? The question is literally the exact opposite of the referendum question for separation. Do you believe that Alberta should stay within Canada? They knew Danielle Smith would consider democracy first and appeal the decision. This man is controlled opposition. Changed my mind. Why do you think he dragged his feet this whole time? Silly separatists. Abandon her leadership and then go running back to mommy. Okay, here's the...
Oh, wow. I wasn't prepared for that, but I showed it anyway. I thought it was interesting. Tell me what you think. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear comments. Email me at unscrewthenews@proton.me if you'd like. You can always find me through my website at unscrewthenews.com. You can comment here, comment on Rumble, comment on YouTube, whatever you like. I will see your comments, but interesting nonetheless. What did I want to show you guys? Oh, I'm showing you emails. That's right. Hang on one second. So we're going to get started. What I really wanted to talk about tonight, let me just see if I can cue it all up, because I forgot to do this part here. 1 second here. All right. Well, we're going to talk about, first of all, we're going to talk about Ebola, Hantavirus. We're talking about spying cars, and one of the other things that I need to let me just see if I can find what I'm looking here for. Why can't I'm going to search? Is this what I've been working on? I was working on this today. That's not what I'm looking for. History. What am I'm looking for? History, guys. Where's my history? Nope, that's not it. Your chats. Oh, I think this may have been like the longest chat ever. Yeah, I'm going to go back and find what I was working on today. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't queue this up properly. Okay. We want to talk about Ebola, Hantavirus, and spying cars. So I'm going to go to my email here. And what I wanted to queue up for you was just some thoughts that I had in regard to. Okay, why do I need to do that? Oh, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Maybe I can see that way. Okay. So what I noticed today was the media whores, the lying media. So the WHO declared, you know what? I pulled this up. Stand by with. And I'm going to take this Thomas Lukacic thing off of here for a second, just so it doesn't distract you. Okay, so the WHO, their statement, I think it was yesterday, explicitly says that the Ebola outbreak constitutes a public health emergency of international concern, or some people call it a PHEIC, but does not meet the criteria for pandemic emergency. So I noticed that in the language that we learned from in 2020 and 2021 and all of that time was that the language was very, very important. We have to be very specific. And so what I noticed was the WHO came out and said that it constitutes a public health emergency of international concern. But you know what the media says? And I just grabbed a bunch of these today because I had seen them. Sorry, I'm going to show this to you right now. So, you know, the recognized media outlets, this is what they said. So they took that, what the WHO said, and if you have to write it down, do, because that's what I had to do. Constitutes a public health emergency of international concern. This is what Time says. WHO declares global emergency over Ebola strain. That's not what the WHO said. But they're using the media, and perhaps they're working together. And when you see how many people said the same thing, so that's May 17. This is the Smithsonian magazine, says Ebola outbreak in Africa was declared a global health emergency by the WHO. Here's what to know about the rare but severe illness. That's not what they said, right? We all know that now. CNN says what we need to know about the Ebola after the WHO declares global health emergency. Well, that's not what they said. I'm here to tell you that's not what they said. WHO declares, this is from NewsPub, WHO declares outbreak in DR Congo a global health emergency. That is not what they said, right? Clearly, we are showing that the WHO says international emergency of international concern, a public health emergency of international concern. So, isn't it interesting that this is exactly what they did in 2020 as well? Is that the WHO declares this, but people are already getting it in their mind. So they're making it, they're already telling you that this is going to be a global emergency, and you will have it already in your mind because the media just normalized it for you. So it's just going to be on there. See, Ebola outbreak. This is NPR, World Health Organization declares Ebola outbreak a global health emergency. No, they didn't. This is May 17th as well. Sky News. So get this right here. I took this little clip, and this is, when you're searching the internet, this was just what came up. So Sky News says, who declares global health, public health emergency over Ebola? That's what it says on this. But when I clicked on it, guess what? It actually reverts. So they want you, to already be believing that it's a global public health emergency. So even though you go in and they've either corrected or they use the proper language, but once you got into the article, it was correct. So I pulled up the World Health Organization, exactly what they said. So the epidemic of Ebola disease caused by blah, blah, Bundibugu virus in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Uganda determined a public health emergency of international concern. See, it's not a global health emergency, which has different parameters and different outcomes. So there was my thing about Ebola that I wanted to talk to you about, obviously to make you pay attention and to critique and to use your discernment to really refine what's going on. Hey, there's another event I've got to tell you about, and I'm going to pull up. So just give me 1 second while I do it here. Let me see. Does he have it there? No, he didn't put it there. Oh gosh, now I have to find it someplace else. 1 second. Fergus. What did you do with this? I'm going to put it on X so I can see it. Why am I not seeing the event? Okay, I'm going to pull this up here. Let's see if we can pull this up. 1 second. There it is. I'm going to grab this picture though, and then save it on X, and I'm just going to put it on Fergus. Paste. There we are. And Fergus, in case you're listening, I just sent this to you on X so that I could bring this up and show the fine people on Unscrew the News, 7-Eleven. The event for May 25th, coming up after Keith Wilson and Jason the Snake Kenny have their debate. We're going to be getting together at the Bourbon Room in Calgary, reception and panel discussion. This is Monday, May 25th. So right after Keith Wilson. So Keith Wilson's joining us. Eva Chipiuk is going to be joining us. And we've got Fergus Hodgson, obviously from the Impunity Observer and Econ Americas, who's hosting this. And good on you. The Path to Alberta Nationhood. You know what? I'll put a link up to get the tickets, or let me just see if I have it available. You know what? I'll put the link up later, and we can get to that a little bit later. Anyway, just wanted to give you a heads up about that event coming up May 25th. I've lost a connection to your screen share audio. Oh, come on. What's up with you guys at StreamYard? What is up with that? Well, luckily, I don't think I have any other audio to share, just my audio. So you guys are going to have to deal with me here for another minute. All right. And so I did want to talk about, obviously, the Hantavirus and Ebola. Hantavirus and Ebola in general, we need to keep our eyes peeled. And I need people to call out the what's wrong, what's crazy, if they're setting up some sort of fake Ebola spray down, they're wearing masks here and there. And they're, obviously it's just a bunch of garbage. Look back, I interviewed Jessica Rose, Dr. Jessica Rose, immunologist, scientist, all-round brainiac. And she says, really, this is nothing to be worried about. It is not. Well, she said specifically the hantavirus is certainly nothing to be worried about, and Ebola is definitely not pandemic type thing where it's going to spread because it's easily contained. That's exactly what she says. Let's see here. So that's the hantavirus. It really is heating up though, right? And you're probably paying attention to seeing what's going on. Okay, so one of the other things that I wanted to bring up, and where was it? Was it on Rumble? Oh, now I gotta. Oh shoot, I was so ill prepared tonight. I'm so sorry. Let me just see if I can pull it up while we're talking here. Spying cars. I thought I sent. Oh, you know what? I might have sent myself an email here. One moment. I did. There we are. Press for truth. All right, I'm just going to listen to this here for a second. I will pull this up and we will skip ahead. I'm going to share this. Here we are. Yep. Yep. That I couldn't say it any better. He really sums it up. Press for truth. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for doing that. All right, I shared with you across the bottom is the link to the event to get tickets at econamericas.com. I will also throw that in the notes so you have a link so it's easy to get to. And oh, here's another view of spying cars. What the heck? I couldn't stop it for some reason. Hopefully you're able to hear that. I just realized that I got that warning saying that audio was not working. So hopefully you did. Maybe you didn't. Let me just see. There's a couple of no sound, muted. Oh, hello, squirrel nuts. Squirrel nuts, we love you. Thank you so much for being here. Apparently, StreamYard wasn't allowing my audio, but now I got to go back and I got to say, yes, LOL, exactly. All right. What was I going to say? Press for truth. You got to look up his video. If sorry, my audio wasn't working because of damn StreamYard. Now I don't know what the heck is going on with StreamYard, but squirrel nuts. I appreciate you being here. Anyway, we'll look up the video. Look up Press for Truth on Rumble. Talking about the spying in your car. You do what essentially what he said was that it's tracking your eye movement, it's tracking your pupils. They're going to roll it out like it's going to help you keep from driving drunk, but really it's meant to be basically a prison pod. He continues to say prison pod. And they're going to be tracking your movement, tracking if you're falling asleep. There's even I think one of the makers is hoping to track you walking up to the car. I don't know if you saw that, but tracking you walking up to the car to see if you're stumbling or, droopy or whatever. And anyway, you wouldn't be able to start your car. Like he said, if you were sweaty and stressed out, maybe your wife is having a baby, or you're trying to drive your kid to the hospital. Of course, you're stressed out. That could be an indicator that the vehicle will shut down. It will drive the car off to the side of the road, put it onto the shoulder, and put it in park, and you will not be able to move it. It is crazy, crazy, insane. So push back. Do not buy those vehicles. Make sure that you know what you're buying. Talk to automakers, maybe one that you really like, and say, I'm not buying your car if it has this garbage in it. Anyway, I have an older car. I suggest keeping your old car running, making sure that you keep that old car as long as possible, because you don't have any. Let's dig into that. Who's actually pushing it? It isn't the auto industry. No, it's not the auto industry. And we will dig into that. Let's dig into it. I'm sure it's not. It's probably the WEF. It's the Club of Rome. It is the, all of those organizations that want you in a prison, that they don't want you to have democracy. That's exactly what we're dealing with here in Alberta, is a lack of democracy. NDP, in case you haven't noticed, but the NDP do not want you to have a say. They do not want the average person to have any say whatsoever. They want you to believe that being in a prison is much better. So we shut up those people that have a different view than what you think. So in a democratic society, we should all have the ability. If I think what you're saying is nutty, you should still be able to say it. Maybe it hurts my feelings, but you should still be able to say it. That is how democracy works. Where the NDP, the socialists in Alberta, the free shit people, they want you to shut up. They don't want you to be able to say anything about independence. They don't want you to talk about it. Here's a question for you, Squirrel Nuts, or anybody else that's out there listening. When you talk to your friends that may not be completely on board with an independent Alberta, do they get mad at you? Or do they say, tell me more? Maybe we could have an adult conversation around this and decide if it's something that we can both agree on, or we both have to decide to disagree on. I know personally that a number of people that I've approached that I, think are, solid friends that I can actually have a conversation with. And when I brought it up, I was, I had horns growing out of my head, apparently, because that's how they approached me, or they were mad at me for even approaching the subject. Anyway, I'm not going to shut up about it anyway, because it's the best thing for us. I know most people are uneducated about everything. Actually, you're 100% right on that, Squirrel Nuts. I think that first of all, they don't want to rock the boat. They want to live small. They're afraid to be kicked out of the tribe, if you know what I mean. I'm sure you probably do. But being kicked out of the tribe is way worse than, having freedom. But freedom is, we're going to have to break some eggs, to have an omelet. We're going to have to step on some toes. People are going to be a little bit upset. And you don't think that when let's just use the United States as an example, and they were the criminals, they were the bad guys, the ones that ended up, creating this constitution that we all look to as, one of the better constitutions coming from the United States. They were the rebels. They were the outliers. They were the vagabonds, the terrible, you know what? They're the Tommy Robinsons of the world. And that's George Washington and Jackson and all of the other the guys that created the United States, created America. And that's what we're in the process of doing. We're going to create a nation that we can be proud to pass on to our children. And we're probably gonna get some black eyes out of this, but it's something that we have to do. We have to do this for our children. And I believe it's the only way that we're going to save what's left of Canada. And if you're with me, stick with me. We're going to talk about this more. But we will, on Squirrel Nut's recommendation, we'll dig into who's pushing this auto industry, this spying. It's the same people that want you living in the 15-minute cities. They want you to be spied on. They want you, social credit system. I mean, the same ones that want you to use CBDCs. They don't want you to use dollars. They'll be giving you the UBI, but the only way that you'll get your UBI, which is the universal basic income, is if you take the digital money that's trackable, that they can shut off whenever they feel like it. Your dollars will expire. You can't actually build them up, and you can't save them because they're going to expire when they tell you that you can no longer use them. All of those things in place is what they're clamping down on us, and we just have to be paying attention. We have to stand up, and we have to not be afraid to say what we need to say. Anyway, I need a little drink here. Stand by. Okay, let's go. All right, Squirrel Nuts, I appreciate your comments. Anybody else, I appreciate you if you can, if you want to jump in and comment, even if it's after the show. But I wanted to bring up these points in regard to the spying of the cars, Ebola, and the Hantavirus hoax that is all coming at us very quickly. They have a vaccine for Ebola. I think it was created in 2022. They have vaccines that they've worked on for Hantavirus, and that was 2023, I believe. And don't quote me on that, but they have this already planned out. And if you use AI like I do once in a while, do a little experiment and ask AI. What did I ask? I was using Claude, and definitely one of my favorite these days. I'm going to read this out to you. This is in regard to my questions to Claude in regard to Ebola. Tedros issued this public health emergency with international concern without first seeking the advice of the emergency committee, confirming it was the first time a PHEIC has been declared without a recommendation from that body. That procedural irregularity is a genuinely important story, but you can only understand why it matters if you understand what a PHEIC actually is, which the headlines don't tell you. So maybe we'll dig into that the next day. Anyway, lots of interesting things happening. I appreciate you being here. If you can make it out to the May 25th event, we still have a few tickets left as far as I know. I will be having a short speaking engagement there, but very important people like my friend Fergus Hodgson, Eva Chipiuk, Keith Wilson, and some other great people. I will have some merch there. I know that Alberta Tees will also be there with his fantastic t-shirts, kick-ass t-shirts. He's also going to be there. So I look forward to seeing you. If you are able to come, I will be there in person, and I will get a chance to meet you. And I would love, 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 love to meet you if you want to come out. But all right, we're going to end it off here. This is Bruce Scholl, and this, I always say to you, let's keep our heads on a swivel. Let's stay sane together. And this is Bruce, and I'm out of here. Thank you so much for watching Unscrew the News. I appreciate your participation in freedom in Canada. Share this information and help others to wake up. God bless.